All right, everyone, welcome back to the Brad and Kyle channel. We have the major finalist, the 2023 Masters finalist, Kyle Sherman.
Hey.
You did that this year. He made the telecast for the 2023 Masters a major on the PBA Tour. What's cool about this video is we have that pattern laid out, that exact pattern, and our boy here is gonna bowl a game, and he's gonna talk us through a little bit about the pattern, a little bit about his run, and how that all went and how we're gonna attack the pattern.
Yeah, let's get it. I'm just gonna start by throwing some shots. Tell you what, this was a very difficult pattern. I remember me and Brad were practicing on it in practice session, and I think we spent a lot of time practicing, and we thought we had it figured out, but once the lights got turned on, the pattern ended up being quite a bit different. Oh, that's so bad. Oh! Oof, a little warm up.
I wouldn't miss this 4-pin.
Why not?
We got a track record for missing 4-pins on this channel.
We do have a track record now. I'm not very happy about that. And I joined that track record this last year at the PBA League. All right, lock it in. Oh, is that the good? All right, it's good.
All right, so this 2023 Masters pattern is longer than we normally bowl on. Normally it's 40 feet. This year it's like 46 feet. A ton of push and a ton of oil. And there was so much push that we actually had to play outside, right?
Yeah, so it was a longer pattern, pretty tight. Had to end up playing a little further to the right. Practice, we were kind of messing around everywhere, but once the tournament started, it was pretty apparent that that's where we needed to play. And the one thing about this pattern is it was very speed sensitive. So I don't think I've bowled a tournament where I've seen more 2-8-10s, which is the very common leave. So anyone that threw it hard naturally had a really tough time scoring on this pattern because you just had to keep it fairly slow. Again, with this pattern being speed sensitive, what I found is I had to have a lot less rotation, had to kind of stay up the back, had to keep my feet slow, and had to keep my angles in front of me. So when I ended up starting to bowl a little bit better on this pattern, I was just looking somewhere between 5 and 10. And my whole idea was just have a ball that had a strong enough cover on it and just stay up the back, forward, in front of me, and slow. Trying to get the ball to read the front part of the lane and just be really, really smooth down lane. So that's not gonna hook. Oh! So if you get that hit, it means you're doing something right. That hit typically, on this pattern in particular, was a 2-8-10 all day, which is that's like what made it hard. Like you knew off your hand, if you just got a little fast, a little wide, missed it, any combination of those three, it was chalked. So you were just 2-8-10ing. All right, so decent start here. Spare double, thrown 3 completely different shots. So it's always good to know that when you throw 3 completely different shots, it gets to the pocket. Oh, is that gonna be good? It is.
Dude, that was so good. Now your goal on this pattern, you just have to get it to read, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you're trying to get under it, roll it as much as possible.
Yeah, I'm just trying to keep my hand forward and into the lane and keeping my angles in front of me. So those are 2 things that I found when I started having success on this pattern. I mean, I didn't whack them by any means, but I shot a lot of consistent scores. And for me, I just had to be forward, get the ball to read, and keep it in front of me. I couldn't get the ball to the right, so my angles were always shut down. Even when I started migrating left, I never felt like I could get that free wheel and just hook the whole lane.
Yeah, you didn't really whack them until the TV, right? Didn't you bust out at 279 on TV?
I had some couple good games on TV. This is just one of those patterns where, like, if you're on the right lane and you're playing to the right like this, and you get a little hole and it reads right, you can shoot some high scores. Yeah, that's all you have to do. Yeah, I remember I ended up bowling decent in the qualifying. Had a couple like just medium blocks, but these lanes got so hard that these USBC patterns we bowl on, they never break down easy, it seemed like. You know, you could kind of do what I'm doing on the fresh. As soon as there was some transition starts happening and you had to move your feet left because the lanes were breaking down, there wasn't just like a free wheel to the right to be able to get the ball back. And you had to like stay forward. I remember I bowled with Chris Vi and he was having some issues, and then we kind of just played off each other and started doing kind of the same thing to help each other get into the top 64. got greedy on that one. Been working with Coach Daniel, and I'm a little taller now. Now when I get to the bottom, I have this ability that I feel like I can just hit it more for me. So I keep doing that, but that wasn't too bad.
Gotta make the spare.
Gotta make the spare. Oh, that was pretty close.
That was a valiant effort.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and Chris might not have wanted me to give too much help me getting in there because I ended up bowling him on TV.
You did bowl him on
forgot
TV.
about that. I forgot we crossed together. Yeah, it was. But I mean, when you're bowling with your buddies, a lot of times we'll, I don't know, just help each other out. Give each other, especially in a format like that, there's 64 guys that are gonna make the field. If we kind of work together and figure out what the pair's doing, we'll do that. So me and Chris worked pretty well. He calmed me down a little bit. I was kind of getting a little crazy in match play because I bowled a few tournaments prior, or in qualifying, because I bowled a few tournaments prior that did not go my way, so I was tilted. Oh, that's terrible. That's the 2-8-10 shot right there. Reared up. I didn't 2-8-10, but I basically did.
You would have if it was the Masters.
If it was the Masters, I would have. And that's what was hard on this pattern. Like, it just got a touch right. I didn't quite really emphasize getting that ball to read early. It squirts, and then this pattern teased you so much. Like that shot, you're like, oh, it's not gonna go back. Oh, it might. No, it didn't. Like every time. It was on command. That's what made this pattern extremely difficult. Let's see if we can pick this. I feel better about trying to pick the 4-9 in this spare right now. Get over there.
Yeah, even on a spare like that, it can be hard because
Yeah, look, that it never hooked.
it never hooked.
So
now, on the fresh of the Master, you know, they find a way to make them play so slick that you can't, it's hard to replicate it here, so there's a little bit more hook here. So,
yeah.
But at the tournament, you just threw a little bit stronger ball, like a gem, right, on the fresh?
Yeah, so instead of, I did throw the phase 2 a little bit on, at times.
Yeah, you did.
So the phase 2, but I was using stronger covers in general. Had to use strong covers. Weak covers were not in play. Again, the whole idea, and even the guys that bowled well, they were able to have slower speed, keep their angles in front of them, and get that ball to read. It was just, it was the tendency. It was the thing that needed to be done, and the guys that naturally did that well, they scored really, really well. You see a lot of the guys that throw it really hard, and a lot of them had been bowling really, really good, struggled at the Masters, that's all it was. So, what do we got? Oh, we had a 4-bagger? Nice. We have 240 off the sheet. All right, Kyle, let's see if we can make a shot here. Oh, that's so bad. I spoke it into existence. That was the 2-8-10. And on this pattern, if I got lackadaisical at all and missed right like that, every single time. I mean, record-breaking 210 combinations. But you gotta learn how to pick these. But yeah, the splits that were happening on this pattern were crazy. But that's what happens when you throw bad shots. You get bad results. Over 2. If I threw a shot like that, the next one that I would do is really slow my feet down, go through my process, realize I got a little lackadaisical there, understand that I got to keep the ball in front of me more. I got to get that ball to read early so it doesn't squirt right. So I'm going to slow my speed down, really emphasize on getting forward with my hand, and hopefully that makes the ball not squirt to the right. Yeah, where I laid it down wasn't too different. I just got that ball read early enough and didn't squirt to the right. So
what did you focus on to do that?
Yeah, it's very subtle, but I just slowed my feet down, my pace, and I made sure my hand is just coming this way. So I did 2 things. I'm gonna slow my pace, slow my speed down, but also get up the back of it. And those 2 combined allows the ball to read so much earlier. 10th frame, 220. Hey, 220 was a great game on this pattern. So if I can muster this up. All right. I remember I scooted up, forward with my hand. Get there.
Woo! I specifically remember this Masters tournament. Every match you bowled was super close.
Yes.
And every single 10th frame you struck out.
I know.
It was amazing.
It was kind of unreal. I've never been that clutch in my life. I was the most clutch bowler. Because I would have these matches in the bag, be up like 50 pins, first game or something. Kevin, I was up like 60 or 70 on him the first game. Then I let him come back, tie it up, and then all of a sudden, we're going down the last 5 frames. I'm like, Well, I was up 70, now I can't miss. It was crazy. They were all close. I mean, Kevin's match was close. Chris Barnes' match was really close. Brandon Bones' match was really close. Who did I bowl right to get on the show?
Bonta. Brandon Bonta.
Brandon Bonta's match was really close. Sorry, Brandon. All right, we got 2 teams. All right, let's just end this on a really good note here. I'm looking at 7, or 8. So in the comments, let me know if I hit it.
Money.
Go.
Actually, you missed a tad left on that one, didn't you?
I missed left. I got around it just a touch and a little faster. And that's all because I didn't manipulate the front part of the lane like well. That was like my huge key was basically in the first 10 feet, because I'm not playing a lot of down lane motion, I knew if it was going to, or not 10 feet, probably 25 feet. I knew if it was going to strike or not.
Yep.
And so.
Got away with it.
Got away with it. Let's just throw a strike here for good measure. Dude, I'm pretty happy with this game, to be honest with you. All right, it's going to be my best shot yet. Oh, that's so bad. Get away with it. See, when you're lined up and your feet are there and your eyes are good and you just do 17 things wrong, you strike.
I can promise you, you can be the best bowler in the world. If you have that 4.9, 210 reaction, it's going to be hard to out-bowl someone who isn't as good, that has a little bit of miss room. We love some miss room.
Yeah, you know, the USBC, when we bowl the USBC events, not the PBA events, the patterns are tricky. And there's always, I mean, they do a really good job of making the lanes call for something if they want to, maybe taking urethane out of play. Like this pattern in particular, guys couldn't throw urethane, which was a little refreshing because that's all anyone throws anymore. But you would think that we had to play out to the right, people would have thrown it. Couldn't throw it. No one could really get it back. Maybe one person or two, for a game, but guys couldn't throw urethane. I mean, I love throwing urethane, that's all right. Never threw it one time. Couldn't get it to work. But yeah, 2023 Masters pattern. It was difficult, it was fun. It was a great time for me. One of the
great memory.
Yeah, it was a great memory and one of the coolest tournaments I've been a part of. Anytime you have like a 64 match and you're able to like get through those matches and make the run, I mean, this guy's been there. He showed me how to do it. It's just amazing. You just don't forget those matches.
You feel on top of the world.
You feel on top of the world. So it's a blessing. But yeah, it's a little bit about this pattern. If you guys like us to break down some more patterns, share some more stories, we'd love to do it. And we'll see you in the next one.
Yep, later.